Thousands of Etsy sellers are watching the pickleball boom fly right by them because they think that paddles are too hard to design and ship. Last quarter alone, custom pickleball paddles racked up over $18 million in sales, and almost nobody is using a tool that can get these listed in under 15 minutes. My name is Matt, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create your print file, generate your mock-ups, fill out your data, and get a set of pickleball paddles up on Etsy that's completely automated and fulfilled by MyDesigns. So let's get started. Once you go to mydesigns.io and get logged into your account, the next step is to actually create a collection. So once you get logged in, under menu over here, you can go to your listings tab, which I'm already in. Next, you need to create a collection, which I've already done as well. But if you don't know how to do that, you can click this home button next to listings here. And then you can just click add folder and name it whatever you'd like to. As you can see, I'm already in one under YouTube, and then pickleball paddles video is what I named it. Once we get here though, we have a collection. The next step is to actually start creating some designs. So I'm going to go to Dream AI here under create, click into this. Now, I've already generated some of these designs ahead of time just to save some time on the video, but I will briefly go over this so you understand how I did it. So first of all, I have a few prompts here. One is to generate this vintage style sunset, and then the other is to generate these swords crossing with the pickleball in the middle. And then also they have a transparent background if you haven't noticed. And our models here under recommended models, I used GPT image 1, and the reason I chose this one is because it can generate these images with a transparent background, and I find that to be really useful. So I'm going to select GPT image 1 here. I'm going to generate 2 images just so that we have a few to choose from. And then the aspect ratio, we do want to generate this at a 2:3 aspect ratio. That's the best one we can do for pickleball paddles. 3:4 would work as well, which is basically the same thing. And then we're going to go under quality and we're going to change this to high. And then I'm going to turn parallel prompts on. Now what this does is it means each new line will generate a separate image. So basically when I paste these prompts in here, you'll see I have one prompt here, and there's a line break and then another prompt. So when we have parallel prompts on, it treats those as 2 separate prompts. And then you can see here it also uses more credits because we're now generating more images. So I'm going to click Dream here. And that's how I did it. You can see that it's working. That takes just a minute, especially when we're generating high quality images. But I do already have a few that I like. These are the exact same prompts. I just wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go down and we'll use maybe this one here. And then I think I like this pickleball one the best with the swords crossing down here. So I'm going to select those 2 to use. You'll see with the blue outline, that's how we have it. We know we have it selected. And then at the top here, you can see we can save 2 images to our listing. So I'm going to click this button now. Now, if you were already in the collection you want to save these images to before you click Dream AI, it's automatically going to route to that collection. You can see I'm saving it to the Pickleball Paddles video collection. If you want to change that, you can just click the down arrow and select whatever one you need to there. But I'm going to leave it as is. And then I'm going to just click Save to Listings, as all of these should be set up for you. There actually is one thing I'd like to do with these images, and that is to upscale the images. So I'm going to, instead of don't upscale, I'm going to click MD1, which it uses 2 credits per image, so it's going to cost us 4 credits. But it'll basically 4x the pixels in this image, so it'll be a lot higher quality. And then I'm going to click Save to Listings, and yes, Store Images. And now that we've chosen our images, our next step is to go back to our Listings tab, which once again is under Menu here. You can find it right here. So once I click into Listings, you'll now see that we have our images here. And you can see they also have that beautiful transparent background, and they're also at the right aspect ratio that we need them to be. So our next step is to now set up these print files so that they're exactly right for a pickleball paddle. So I'm going to go ahead and just select them both, which you can do by clicking that button there. And now you'll see I have 2 out of 2 selected. And I'm going to go into our Canvas system, which is here. You can click it on this left menu, or you can find it under Quick Actions as well. I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to go to templates, first things first, in the top left corner here. This is what you always want to do when you're setting up a print file. This will make sure that it's the right dimensions. And then under search products, I'm going to just type pickleball, select the kit, which is our only pickleball products we have available at the moment, but we will be getting more. And then Printify is our only partner that offers these. So I'm going to select Printify, and then I'm just going to select the only canvas they have available, which is the front print on the pickleball paddle. Now you'll see that we have our outlines here. They do fade a little bit. If you zoom in more, you can see those red lines. I think that's just a small bug going on right now. But anyways, what we need to do from here is click Add Listing File in the top right corner. Now, if we click Add, all it's going to do is add one image. But if you remember right, we're working with two listings. And you can see both these canvases down here. So I'm going to go Add Listing Files and then click Add to All. And now you'll see we've got both of our images added. So we just basically at this point need to adjust these a little bit. Let's say, everything needs to be within this blue line, right? If we don't want it to cut off or risk being cut off. So I'm going to reduce the size of the image a little bit and then just put it on here how I would like to. I do want to point out that you can also do a lot of different things here. You can add personalization if you'd like to. Let's say that we wanted to use this image and then add some text. Maybe it's like, maybe we'll just use something like this for an example. And then I'll put it at the bottom here. We can even change the text color here to a different color so we can see it better. Maybe we'd like to actually make so that it matches this pickleball color. Maybe the brown here might look a little better. I do think that looks all right. So once again, this is just an example. I probably won't use this text, but I want to show you how it's possible to do this. So let's say this just had a last name that said, maybe Williams. We could reduce this font size by quite a bit so that it fits, or we can just drag it and make it smaller like that. If you wanted to do something like that, you can. I just wanted to show you what's possible. The other thing is, if we leave the background transparent, then it's going to look like the wood colored pickleball paddle. If you want a background color on here, that's also possible. You can just select the background there, and then you can turn this eye icon on. So now if we save this as is, our pickleball paddle would have a white background. We can change that color to whatever we want here by just adjusting it like this. I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as transparent. Once again, I just wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to delete the text here, make this image slightly larger, and then I'm just going to center on this pickleball paddle. Now, everything we did to this specific image, we can do to our other one by just right-clicking it once we select it, and then clicking Sync. You'll see it adjusted this one to now be the same size, and so that it fits exactly in the pickleball paddle. So that's all we needed to do to actually set up our print files. Now all we have to do is just click Save here in the top right corner. And then I'm going to just overwrite the original that we had, as this is now going to be the right dimensions. I do also want to point out here, let's say we did decide to add text and we were allowing personalization on this. All we would need to do is save this as editable. And what that would do is when we received an order, let's say we had the order as Williams as the last name, somebody wanted to change that to Smith. We could update that print file and then just click Submit, and it would go straight to our print partner. That is only if we save it as editable, but I won't get too much into that for now. I'm going to just unclick that and then click Save, and yes, overwrite all files. And now that those are saved, if I hover over this print file, you can see it says 2542 by 3585 pixels, which is perfectly what we needed it to be. So from here, our next step is to just get these published. So I'm going to go to the top right corner here, and I'm going to click Publish. And then we're going to go under Print on Demand, and we're going to select Etsy here. Under Search for Specific Products, we're just going to type Pickleball again, and we're going to select the same kit that we already set up our print files for. Now, MyDesigns does not offer a print provider. That's why you can see under MyDesigns there's no print providers, but we do have Printify here, and you can see their print partner right here offers these pickleball paddles, and it shows you the price that you're charged as well as the shipping. If you have Printify Premium, then you'll only get charged $32. If you do not, you'll get charged $41, which is a pretty big difference. So I'm going to go ahead and select this. Now, right here, we can actually make adjustments to our print file if we would like to by clicking on this canvas button here. So we can make adjustments. Let's say we wanted to make it smaller, then we could just click Save. I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to make you aware of what you can do. So I'm going to close that out. Now there's only obviously one size being offered, and then we have a mock-up that's generating here, but we do want a few mock-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and just click Add Mock-up. We do have a few in our catalog here, and maybe we'll just do one of each of these ones. So I'm just going to go back and select them all. And those will generate us a preview, and then whatever one we want to be our primary mockup, we'll just put at the front there. And then I'm also going to turn auto generate video mockup. Now what this does is it basically just generates a transition slideshow, but then it puts a video on our listing, and listings on Etsy are a lot more likely to get clicked on if they have a video. So let's go through these mockups and see which one we would like as our primary. I think I kind of like this one because it showcases that they're getting a set of pickleball paddles, excuse me, with the balls. And then we'll go ahead and just reorder these ones a bit to be like that. So now our videos should generate these in the same order that we have them. But we can go ahead and just go to the next step now that we have our mockups done, and that is to populate data in the top right corner here. So we don't have any data done, but we can use a tool we have here called Vision AI. So I'm going to go down here, select Use Vision AI. I'm going to toggle all of these on. That's basically just selecting the two listings we're working with so that it applies to them both. The input file slot is going to be our print file. Basically, this is the file that our AI is scanning and generating the data based off of. Now, under product type, I'm actually not sure that we have Pickleball added here yet. So we would essentially just want to say other, and then it says please specify. So under this specify text bar, we're just going to say this is a listing being sold as a pickleball set. Please include this in the data. So that just gives it a little bit more to go off of so that it's it has something to go with. We're going to generate title, description, and tags, which is why we have all three of those selected. If you already had those done, you just deselect them. Let's say you had tags and description done, but you wanted a title. You could do just one if you'd like to. Under product features, I will leave Pickleball Kit selected. And then I don't really feel like I need to add any additional custom instructions as I already specified up here what this is. So I'm going to go, well, maybe we can actually just copy this and paste it into custom instructions as well. So we're going to click Generate Data now, and then yes, run Vision AI. Great, and now that our data is done generating, we'll just go through this a bit. So the title says Premium Pickleball Set, 2 pickleball paddles and balls, USA Pickleball Kit, all level players, indoor and outdoor game set. So, it could have done a better job. I think that's a really good starting point, but if I was actually selling these, I'd go through, do some research on what people are actually looking for when it comes to pickleball and add a few more keywords there. I'm not going to worry about changing that too much as I'm just showing you guys how to do this, but I do want to point out it generated some really good tags and then a great description here as well. I'm also going to go to the next listing. As you remember, we can filter between listings here with these arrows, but we were using or generating these based off of 2 images or 2 listings. So you can see this one also generated everything it needed to. Once again, just reading through that, I would probably go through and change a few words, but for this example, I'm not going to. We're going to go to the next step now and just click Choose Prices. Now, if I remember right, it was about $42 plus shipping for these. So for us to really make some money on it, I think we'd have to sell them roughly around $60. So I would say $60 and maybe 98 cents, somewhere around there. And let's say we wanted to adjust that price for all of our listings. Like I said, we're only working with 2, so we could come just adjust them manually. But if you're working with, let's say over 100 listings at once, you could go all sizes, replace, and just go 60.98 and then apply to all. And you'll see now it updated this listing, and we had already done that one manually. So that's how you change the pricing. We can go to the next step now, which is Preview Publish Info. This basically just gives us one last look of what our listing looks like. We've got our title, our description, and then our tags down here in blue. And then also it's showing you the primary mockup as well as your print file. And then on the right side here, our publication is obviously going to be Etsy. We're publishing this to our test shop that we have here. If you have multiple shops, you can change it there. And then we're going to leave all of this set as is. If we had personalized this with the last name that we used as an example earlier, we would select that box, but you don't have to worry about that for just using images. So basically at this point, we're done. All we have to do is click this publish button here in the top right corner. That's going to take about 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then we're going to jump over to our Etsy shop and I'll show you what these listings look like there. We are now over on our Etsy shop and we're on our dashboard. This is just a test shop that we use for videos, but what you need to do from dashboard is navigate to your listings tab. Now everything that's published through MyDesigns is always going to go to your draft folder, so you can see under listing status over here, click on draft. The reason it goes to your draft folder is you do have to pay that 20-cent listing fee to Etsy. So you have to do this manually at this point, but here are our listings. If we go ahead and click into one of these, you'll see we have our mock-ups. And there is one thing I want to point out. I did forget to click auto generate video mock-up, so it actually didn't generate. There was a button during the publishing process I hovered over, and then I just forgot to click it, but that's why the video didn't generate. Typically it would, and it would be in this slot if it did. But here are all of our mock-ups. If we want to publish this, all we have to do is click publish, or we can just go back out of this listing, back to draft, and then we can select them both here, and then just click publish, and then you'll see there's a 20-cent listing fee times 2, so 40 cents, and then you just click publish. So that's how easy it is to create and list pickleball paddles. If you guys have any questions, please drop them below. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel for future MyDesigns content.